everyone, it's Jen with Spirited Saturdays, and as it is Eating Disorders Awareness Month, this week for our topic, we're each picking a different issue that means something to us, whether it be personally or professionally or whatever it is. And I thought about it, and I realized that I have had a lot of people in my life say to me, and I've also said this to myself, that they can't seek treatment because they're otherwise involved in something. And that something can seem very significant to them at the time. You know, it can be work or school, it can be a commitment to another person, it can be a parenting situation, it can be so many things that may seem to logically kind of interfere with the idea of getting treatment. I mean, they can't possibly go for treatment or they say, when they're committed to a job or they have to finish school in a certain amount of time, or all of these things that hold them back from seeking out treatment. And it's just kind of like another reason. It becomes another way to avoid seeking treatment, but it also, I mean, at the time, it really can seem like a burden. It can seem like, well, not an option, to leave whatever they're doing. And I've heard this so much from people over the years that I've thought it myself when I was in school, and then again when I was at work. And, you can come up with so many justifications why you can't go to treatment. I mean, there's so much to say about that, and it's something that whenever I hear somebody say it, I want to, or I try to tell them, and I'm going to try to tell you, if you're currently struggling with this conflict, this kind of internal conflict, um, mm, go seek help. Your health comes first. I know that this is actually probably watering it down a lot, but I have to tell you that had somebody just told that to me point blank, it would have helped me. So I'm thinking in terms of what maybe I needed to hear. It's so important that you put your health first. So you might be at a job where you feel like no one else can take your position. No one else can know how to do it. But somebody will. Somebody will. That person can be trained. You may think it's like the exception and you really can't leave. Like, you really can't. Because if you go, like, it's just, things are just not going to be okay. They're going to be way, way off balance. And it's simply, not an option. And that is so not the case. I mean, it's the job was there before you got there, and it will still be a job, and somebody will be able to fulfill it. And it's just like, it's sort of symbolic for the eating disorder itself, is that kind of mentality of like, or like eating disorder characteristics, of like having to feel responsible for everything, or having to have the control over everything, or feeling like if you let go a little bit, everything is going to fall apart. So I think compressing that into like a job situation, you can do that. You can definitely do that to yourself. You can make yourself think that if you let go of the control a little bit, everything is going to fall apart because maybe you were doing this thing perfectly, or you were doing this thing your way, and who else is going to be able to do that? Or maybe somebody's going to be disappointed in you. Maybe, you're thinking your boss is going to be disappointed in you. Or maybe you're thinking that your professors are going to be disappointed in you. Or somebody is. And it's so much, it's so clearly a manifestation of the eating disordered characteristics. Like, we already, kind of tend to think that way. I think a lot of the time, like, if we let go a little bit, everything is going to fall apart. Recognize that that is just playing out, in the job situation or in the school situation. That is like the very thing that you need to work on, and it's simply just playing out in this one arena of your life, because the truth is, it's not going to fall apart. And if the person in charge is a respectful human being and following protocol, they're going to obviously respect and, I think in many cases, admire your decision. And if they don't respect it, that's not your problem. Um, you know, it's, your health comes first. You have to know this, because if you don't take care of your health, you won't have a job, because you will not be alive to work. Okay, if you don't take care of your health, you won't have the opportunity to be in school, because you will not be alive to do that. Or you will be rendered just completely unable to function, even if you are alive. Um, your health is the most important thing. Your health allows you to live and to pursue those goals. And if you get better, if you tend to your health and you treat it as the priority that it is, then once you're back in those roles, you can really fulfill them in a richer kind of a way. And you can also realize that once you have all your faculties back, then maybe what you're doing, in school or at work, maybe that's not even what you want to be doing, and you can't even recognize that as somebody who's very sick. What it comes down to is that you are a living, breathing human being, and if you don't have your health, you won't have any of that other stuff. It's not sustainable to live this way. And I'm telling you, it's so important. It's so important, and I'm thinking of a few specific people in my head right now, but boy, but there are many of you out there, and I was one of you at one point, and so I understand. Um, and I want to shake you. I want to hug you and shake you and say, please, 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 put your health first. I know that there's a huge component of this that, where it's not only about the logistics. Clearly, it's about so much more, and it's about, am I worth it? Do I deserve it? You are, and this video is not so much focusing on that piece of it, but I want you to know that you are worth it. You do deserve it. You deserve to leave the situation that you're in right now and immediately take steps toward getting treatment that you need. Okay, so there's more to this. Clearly there's more to it, like, actually, I'm working toward that, finding out what's around, finding out, your resources, things that are nearby, finding out, who can help you and who can be there, what level of treatment can be most effective for you, and there's all of that. But just as a starter, just as a real switch in your mindset, I want you to know that you deserve the help, and that it's worth it. 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 I promise you. I promise. I promise. It's worth it to take a break from whatever you're doing. And if you have a family, it's worth it. You're going to have to. I mean, you're going to have to. If you want to take care of other people, you owe it to yourself to take care of yourself first. You owe it to yourself to be the best that you can be in any area of your life. So if that's a caretaker and also a self-caretaker, obviously it's about you. But if it's, right now, if it's a student, if it's an employee somewhere, you owe it to yourself to give yourself the best shot at being the best that you can be in that role, and really becoming and work on becoming yourself. Everything you do short of recovery is not going to be reflective of your authentic self. If you can take one thing away from this video, just make it that. I'm sorry I said it so late in the video, but yeah, and so everything that you do short of being in recovery is not reflective of your authentic self, and you owe it to yourself to build on that. So, and to become that, to become yourself. So please take a break, put it on hold, seek out treatment. Don't wait. Don't wait. You don't need any more reasons. You don't need any more validation. You don't need any more proof that you're sick enough. You don't need any more tweaks of this or that to figure out the best situation, the best scenario. You can do it right now. You can start that process right now. I promise you. And it's so worth it. So worth it. I promise. Okay? Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.